name is Rafael del Castillo, and I am running for Congress in District 1 because I believe in you and me. Do you believe that we can have fair elections free of the influence of corporations and Wall Street, and in which we, the voters, not the news media, decide who will serve? You inspired me by demanding change and rejecting politics as usual. We share those values, you and I. I will fight to make sure our elections are free and fair. Will you support me in that fight? Do you believe, as I do, that we can educate our kids so that they are not only prepared for the 21st century, but that they are prepared to excel in the 21st century so that they will have a better life and better jobs than we do? Do you believe, as I do, that we can have the best and most affordable healthcare system in the world again, a healthcare system in which everyone has access to quality care, a healthcare system in which there are enough doctors and nurses so that we do not have to wait weeks or months for an appointment, a healthcare system in which the money we pay goes for medical care, not to create vast personal wealth for a few insurance executives. I offer you a record of representing you in the places where you needed to be represented, preventing homelessness, creating jobs, eliminating waste in government-funded health and welfare programs, and helping the public servants to do their jobs effectively and efficiently. I was fighting for real health care reform before it became fashionable, representing patients whose insurance companies refused to cover life-saving medications, surgeries, and cancer treatments. I am presently fighting for the poor and disabled whose health care has been turned over to two for-profit mainland insurance companies who have admitted they have not delivered while they were taking the taxpayers' money. I will fight to protect equal rights and justice. We must preserve our honored past of protecting minorities. I will fight to make sure that the food and consumer goods we need for our lives arrive in our ports safely, free from contamination and free from any other threat to our security. I will fight to ensure that we have a more reliable food supply in Hawaii. I will fight to take Congress and our elections back from big corporations so that we never have a BP again, so that we never have a Wall Street meltdown again. When Congress finally passes a Sovereignty Act, I will be there to make sure that we fulfill the promise. The way in which we resolve Hawaiian sovereignty with our record is a test of America's character and will be an example for the world in the 21st century. I want to be sure that the character America demonstrates is one of which we can all be proud. Native Hawaiians have been firmly insistent, but they have demonstrated great character in being patient, compassionate, and understanding with open hearts, and in inspiring Native Hawaiian youth to achieve excellence in preserving and enriching their cultural heritage. We must emulate their fine example. You have a clear choice. Are you going to go with the same old politics as usual that betrayed us to Wall Street, that traded away real financial reforms for campaign contributions? Or are you going to cast your vote for change, for the only candidate who has a record of fighting for you against the billion-dollar fat cats in insurance? Are you going to go with the same old politics that allowed BP to operate offshore drilling without effective regulation, and that has stalled on legislation to protect and rehabilitate the environment? Or are you going to cast your vote for a candidate who will not betray you to the money and influence brokers with their fat campaign contributions? Are you going to go with the same old politics with a career politician whose record you can't quite figure out, except for the parts you know you don't like? Or are you going to cast your vote for a candidate who has a record that clearly says, I represent you? Do you want a career politician whose only solution is to vote no when it comes to taking responsibility for our solemn commitment to the poor and disabled, to ensuring our schools meet the challenge of preparing our kids for the 21st century? Or will you cast your vote for a candidate who understands that what you don't fix today will cost you more in the long run, and that fiscally responsible means we control the cost of government by eliminating waste and electing a congressman who will fight for the people who cannot fight for themselves? I humbly ask for your vote in the Democratic primary, in your absentee ballot, or at the polls on September 18th. My name, Rafael del Castillo, will be first on the ballot. You don't have to look any further for change for the better. And when you see us out there with our red, yellow, and green rainbow as you're driving by, remember me, Rafael del Castillo, and our campaign. We are one. My name is Del, and I believe in you and me. Do you believe?